Go.
Okay. Like through the book there, it shows you the hole drilling mechanism. This is what it looks like. Yours should be new and not full of holes, but this has been used on several different domes. It still works good. The thing is, on these corners, on these ends, this is our reference point. This point right in here. So it's very important that this lines up, this lines up. This is a factory edge here, so that these points inside and out are the same. Because what you're going to end up doing is, you're going to put this on this side. You want to make sure it's sitting flat, and you want to make sure it's all the way to the point. All the way this way, see? Okay? And then you're going to take it and turn it around and do the same thing here. So, the thing is, we want to lay this out so we don't have any problem with our bolt holes. Now, in most cases, you come over 9 inches and down 1 3/4 inches or 2 inches from the top. Now, I'm using a cordless drill, but you'd probably be better off to use a drill with a cord when you're doing this.
Why?
Here is the bit. I want you to see this. It's very important to get an auger bit with this screw point on the end of it. This is 7/16. It might be a little hard to find, but it's a good size. Your bolt is going to be 3/8. So that only leaves you a 1/16 of an inch play, okay? You might want to go to 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch will work, but don't go anything bigger than 1/2 inch. 7/16 or 1/2 inch. You're going to have 4 of them on the side. So accuracy here, look at my face. Accuracy here is very important. You want your best person on the hole drilling. It's very important. I cannot stress it enough. You know, you'll go to sleep, you'll get lazy, you won't pay attention, and what happens is when you go up and try to put the dome together, if the holes are off, you know, it won't line up. The holes actually line everything up, the inside, the outside, and the ends, and that's what puts everything in the position that it needs to be. So, to that point, when you mark this, we have our holes. When you mark this, we use a pin. Come on over here close, you get a close up of this. Now you got a little bit of bevel on this, remember? So it's kind of going in at 9 degrees. When you put your pin in there, don't go like this. Do a circle like so. Do about 2 passes. 2 passes. You should have a good mark there. Now, the reason we don't do a little smaller hole or a little bigger hole is we want to see where that bit's going. This way we can get a good visual, put that point right in the center of that. You see? Right in the center there. Now you're almost dead on. Now the trick is, come over this way. You want to be perpendicular this way. You're going to have 2 pieces of wood coming together, and that hole has got to be straight through. If this is crooked, then you're going to have a hard time getting the bolt through there, and you're going to have to hammer it in there, and you're going to be chipping wood, and you're not going to be happy. So it needs to be perpendicular. You don't have to use this every time. You know, it's like once you get the hang of it, you know, you'll get a feel for it. Now then do it from the end down there. Okay? It also needs to be perpendicular this way. See here? Needs to be perpendicular this way. See? It's not straight. This has got a bevel on it, 9 degrees. So what you've got to do is, rather than holding it straight, you got to tilt this down a little bit. And like I say, after you do a couple of them, you'll get a feel for it. Now the way to check that get you a piece of bolt or something, set that in there like so, and take a look at it. How does that look? Okay, look at it this way, you know. So once you get that going right like that, you know, just take your time and make sure that you're getting that angle. Drop it down so that it's perpendicular this way and perpendicular this way. And that way when you put the next board on there, that bolt will go right in there. And your ends will line up and your inside and outside will line up. Hole drilling is the most important thing. Put your best help on that. Okay, so, you know, I've got this down. I've been doing it long enough. I just kind of gauge it with my hip. I know where it sets at every time. You know, and the rest of it is just an overall overhead view type deal. So you're going to put 4 bolts in it on each side. The first one, like this one, comes down about 2 inches and about 9 inches from the end. Make your jig come down 2 inches and 9 inches from the end. Okay. Then you're going to want to check your blocking. The first hole is going to be clear of any blocking pretty much. You might have a little trouble on the AABs or the pins, and what you can do, try and remember this or go back to it if you need to. On the AABs, this side here, which will be the red side, that'll be red and that'll be plain, it will match up with the red blue. And so you don't have to worry about it. The other side, you can make a whole new jig because all they're going to be attaching to is each other. Okay? So you can make a new jig and not worry about that blocking because it's a difficult triangle. It's very small, and what'll happen is it'll compromise your blocking. So you're going to set this up. Now we're going to figure where the second hole is at. Okay? So we can see here, we either need to go on this side or this side. If you go on this side, then you're not going to have room to work your wrench. You see? Your triangle is big enough, though, you can come over here farther and come over here. You see? And get away from that. We're going to have one hole here, and rather than put one hole here and leave this all blank, put your hole over here, okay, in your jig. And then when you turn it over, see, you're going to want it over here too, so you're going to have 2 holes like this. Sometimes they get pretty close, you know. That's all right. You know, maybe you just need 1 bolt. The engineers, you know, originally designed this. They said 2 bolts was good. I'm putting 4 bolts in it, you know. So if you wanted to, you could put 2 bolts, 1 here and 1 here, and probably be all right. You know, I put 4 in it. You can put 2 in it and come back and drill holes in it later, or after you get it in place and get everything tightened up, you can come back and put more bolts in it if you want. Nail it together. A lot of different ways to do it. The important thing is to have at least 2 of the bolts that's going to line you up. I like 4. These might be a little close to each other. Your triangles are going to get smaller and smaller, so you know you want to keep them, you know, like maybe put this one here. This is right on the edge of this, but still leaves you plenty of room because the bolt is back over here. It's not on the inside. Then if you put this one on this way, it would be about here. So you're going to have here and here. So what I might do is move it over here a little bit, move this one over here. You're just going to have to play with it. Put your patterns together and figure out what is best. You might need to build 2 jigs. Build one, play with it, put all your patterns together, bolt them together, and see what's going to work that will work for everything. It may not work for everything. You may like the ABB, the red, white. You might have to make a different jig. One jig should get it. And if you have a bolt in the corner, that's going to get you started. When you get up there and you go to putting it together, if the bolt holes don't line up, don't worry about it. If you get the two on the end in, it's going to be good. Then all you have to do is take your drill a hole in it. You're going to have one drill that lines up. Drill through there and stick the bolt in it. Okay? So the thing is, you want to build all your carcasses first. Okay? Right now you're just doing your layout for this, for your bolting patterns. And you want to be ahead of that. You've got all your blocks cut. You've got your patterns made. You've got your jig made, worked out. Cut your blocks and set them off to the side as you go. You're going to have to find a place to keep them, until you're ready. You might write on one of them, that's blue, 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 or you might put spray paint on them, blue, blue, blue. Okay, we usually stack these. You can stack them back and forth, like the next triangle will go like this. So one this way, and that way you can stack them up pretty high. That's a good way to stack them. Or you can lean them up. Lean them up like this, up against a tree or something. Coming out this way. You've seen that on the other DVD. Once you get all your carcasses made, then drill your holes. You've got your blocks cut. So now we're going to look at doing the plywood, cutting the patterns for the plywood.